How much money do creators earn from YouTube? 2024 was my first year being fully monetized on YouTube, and this was a question I always used to ask myself. Well, in this video, I'm gonna be sharing exactly how much YouTube paid me this year. So without further ado, let's go. For those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Allie. I used to work on cruise ships as a professional dancer, but after sustaining a back injury, I transitioned to doing YouTube full time. And honestly, I was very nervous about this transition for a couple of reasons. First of all, up until last year, YouTube has always been something that I did on the side. I didn't even get monetized until 2023, so I've always had another primary source of income. Another thing is I knew that transitioning from the cruise niche would be challenging. Because so much of my life and my content revolved around cruising, I know that's how a lot of people found me and maybe why they liked my videos. So naturally, it begs the question, are people here for me or just because they like the cruise content? Which then of course leads to the next big question, am I gonna make enough money to do this full time? Speaking for myself, I love financial transparency. I hate the taboo that we can't talk about money. And personally, I feel like the only people who benefit from being secretive is corporate. Plus people make their life decisions around this kind of information. So buckle up, you guys, because today I just want to be super transparent about my journey and my numbers while making banana bread. These are all the things that we're going to be talking about. One, how YouTubers get paid, plus their revenue sources, an overview of my yearly trends, how much money my top 5 videos made, comparing long form videos to short form videos, plus the total amount. First things first, how do YouTubers get paid? The money's got to come from somewhere, right? First of all, you can make money from YouTube directly, but also from external sources. For the YouTube platform specifically, I think we're all familiar with just the regular ads that you see before and during someone's video, unless you have YouTube Premium. But YouTube actually has a couple different revenue sources. One being the ads, which we've already talked about. 2 is ads specifically on the shorts feed. If you don't see the ads, you have YouTube Premium, and guess where that money goes? And on top of that, there's also super thanks and super chat. For those things, you as a viewer pay that specific creator for their video during a live or a premiere or just in general. But with all that being said, what specifically impacts a creator's video and their earnings? Yes, you in the back. Views. But my friends, views are not created equally. So even if 2 videos have the exact same amount of views, if they're about different topics and one topic makes more money than the other, they are going to earn differently. This is what we call cost per mile, or CPM. Some of the highest CPMs include education and finances, whereas some of the lower CPMs are niches like comedy and humor. Wait, but how do those people make enough money to survive? Well, there's a lot of other ways to make money from YouTube without it actually being from YouTube. Naturally, this is going to be the creator's preference. It is up to each individual how they want to diversify their income. Honestly, it really depends on the creator, but a couple of the ways include selling things such as merchandise, products, one-on-one coaching calls, courses, tickets to live events, Patreon, affiliate links, and of course, sponsorships. This is the part of the video where a creator says, "This video is brought to you by insert brand name here." Of course, I can't speak for all creators, but I feel like for me, something that is important that a brand aligns with me and my values. So usually I reach out to a brand because I specifically enjoy their product, or they reach out to me and I ask to try it out first. Personally, I don't like the idea of just pushing random products that I would never use. For example, I've worked with the company Bombas a couple times. If you haven't heard of it, it's a sock company, and for every pair purchased, they donate a pair to a homeless shelter. And even though that sounds great and all, I did want to try them out before I just started recommending them to people. That, for instance, is an example of a company who had reached out to me and I hadn't tried their products before. But once I tried them and saw how great they were, that made me feel morally sound to recommend it to people. If you've never tried Bombas for yourself, they're very thoughtfully designed in comparison to other socks. On their ankle socks, for example, they have little pull tabs in the back so they don't slip down and give you some blisters. And another thing, they don't have toe seams here. You know those pieces in the corners that kind of bunch up in your shoe? It's also nice because they do also have more than just socks. Because their focus is on giving back to the community, they mainly have essential goods such as t-shirts and underwear. And funny enough, those 2 items plus the socks make up the top 3 requested items in homeless shelters. All of their items are tested for strength and durability, and something I just really respect about their company is that they're always trying to improve. Personally, I feel like I can relate to this a lot because I'm always just trying to be the best version of myself. And it's just really neat to see how a simple yet practical purchase can actually make a difference. Plus, with my code, you can get 20% off. If you would like to support me in this channel, plus try a pair for yourselves and make a difference, make sure to scan the QR code on the screen or check the link in my description. Thank you, Bombas, for sponsoring this video. Now, with all this being said, because earnings are directly correlated with your views, as you can imagine, it fluctuates quite a bit. Even the most popular YouTubers out there won't make the exact same amount of income on each video. Let's take a closer look, shall we? So something I quite enjoy about YouTube analytics is that they are super, super detailed. And I think there's a lot that we can learn from these analytics. Yes, there is. At a glance, I think we can all see that there are a fair amount of highs and lows, but there is no denying that there are a lot more high points in the beginning of the year. I wonder why that is. Well, I can tell you exactly why that is. That's when I was still on the cruise ship. Oh, bye, Muffin. How odd, Muffin doesn't really seem to care about the analytics. Anyway, fun fact, it is actually the 1-year anniversary from the day that I got injured on the ship. And if you guys were here through that whole process, I actually took the time to really tell the story all the way from January until about April. I think living and working on a cruise ship while simultaneously getting injured in a metal floating box, it's kind of interesting. But naturally, that is not the only content that I've posted since then. So you may be wondering then, what are all these other little peaks? Throughout this past year, I've definitely been taking the time to experiment with my style of videos, the content in my videos, trying to see the things that I find interesting, but also you guys find interesting too. But something that is unique about YouTube content is that it is evergreen. If you've never heard of the term evergreen, basically as long as the topic is applicable to someone's search, it will still pop up, even if it was from many, many years ago. So while on platforms like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, things will pop up that are a bit more recent, YouTube is still a search engine. So when I post something like a cruise ship cabin tour, even though I posted it last year, it is still continuing to make me money this year. And because of this concept, my top 5 earning videos throughout the year were actually a bit surprising for me. Starting off with number 5, you guessed it, is the cruise ship cabin tour. I actually didn't even post this last year. I posted it 2 years ago during the summer. So the fact that this is in the number 5 spot is actually crazy to me. This video is actually my most popular video on YouTube. Currently, it has 925,000 views. And even though I posted it in 2023, it was 2024 where the views just really skyrocketed. And at this point, I think those views are just going to continue to increase. If you are part of the cruise world, you may have heard that there's a new policy with Royal where you're no longer allowed to post your cabin. You no longer can post anything behind the scenes. So honestly, that just continues to give potential for my past videos. Anyway, during 2024 specifically, this video made $1,406. Up next, we have number 4, which was my cruise ship question and answer. So I actually filmed this video in January of 2024, but I didn't release it until a month or so later after I had already left the ship. But alas, it is more cruise content. Although some of the more personal related questions are not as relevant anymore, a lot of the job related questions will kind of always be relevant. So maybe that'll continue to grow. We'll see. For now, in 2024, that video made $1,531. And then up next after that, we have 3rd place, which you guessed it, another cruise ship video. This one was how much I made on the ship. I basically shared all the money that I made while working on board in addition to YouTube revenue. Like I mentioned before, I really enjoy analytics and pay transparency. So while that video is no longer applicable to me anymore, I do feel like it's still pretty interesting. I also posted that one after coming back from the ship and I made $1,593. So far, I feel like these numbers aren't varying too much. All right, now we're coming into 2nd place. Surprise, surprise. Another cruise ship video. So this particular video was I left the cruise ship for good. I did. This was basically my story of how I got injured. And again, I'm not really surprised that it's done pretty well. I posted that video in early 2024 and it has made $1,606, but we still have 1st place. So I posted this video in 2023, but in 2024, it got the majority of its views. Currently in total, it has 530,000 views, but in 2024, it received 400,000 of that views. So that is a large majority. It is my cruise ship's expectations versus reality. It is currently my 2nd most popular video. And in 2024 alone, it made $2,289. Another thing that I find quite interesting is that back in 2023, right after I got monetized, I kind of shared my first 6 months on YouTube, similar to this style of video. And it was super interesting at the time comparing short form revenue to long form revenue. At that time, my shorts were doing super well. It was actually split pretty evenly, but this year I feel like it's not even close. So during my first 6 months on YouTube, there was about a $1,000 difference between the shorts and the long form content. So even though shorts can go viral a bit more frequently than long form videos, or at least for me, they don't usually do as well as long form videos when it comes to earnings. For example, in 2024 alone, my shorts got 40 million views, whereas my long form videos got 4 million views. However, my shorts earned $5,870. Meanwhile, my long form videos earned $23,935. That's pretty crazy if you ask me. And now for the moment of truth. The grand total and the banana bread. So the grand total of all of my earnings, this includes watch ads, shorts ads, YouTube Premium, and the supers. In 2024, I officially earned $31,784.96. Ooh. This is good. So what are our thoughts about all of this? First of all, I will say this is more than the previous year, so I would say that that's a plus. Now, is this amount of money enough to live off of? I guess that just depends on personal lifestyle choices. But another thing for me is that this is not my only stream of income. I do have multiple. I feel like that's a whole other can of worms and maybe a video for another day. But honestly, I'm loving life right now. Even 2 years ago, I never would have believed you if you told me that this was my life right now. I just feel so incredibly thankful. I know that there are creators out there who are making more than me, but I try my best not to compare. I truly believe that comparison is the thief of joy, and I am so thankful and happy of where I'm at. With that being said, as I and this channel continue to evolve, I do want to adapt and also hear what you guys have to say. So I really would love to know what kind of videos you'd love to see from me in the future. Ideally finding where my passions and also the things that you guys enjoy watching intersect. That would be the goal. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, leave them down in the comments below. In the description, I'm gonna leave the link to this banana bread recipe. Bomb. It is also vegan and gluten-free, as well as the link for Bombas. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.